Hi folks, John Dunn, RPG freelancer and publisher of Meliorvia here at Immortals Inc., here to talk about RPGs. This time, I'm going to talk a little bit about GENESYS. GENESYS is a core rulebook published by Fantasy Flight Games and now Edge Publishing. It is a generic role-playing game system. The whole point of it is you can use it for a broad range of different settings. It gives you a lot of different hooks into that, but this is a generalization of a system that Fantasy Flight was publishing for a while. And that is the system that they used for the Star Wars role-playing games, Edge of the Empire, Age of the Rebellion, and Force and Destiny, all of which I worked on. So,
Ooh, light flex. Nice.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. That's
Nerd
awesome.
cred, man.
Look at that.
But this is not a Star Wars product, and it's actually a bit of a refinement of the version that was used in Star Wars. They used a related system also for Legend of the Five Rings. And the big thing that characterizes this game is that it, I want to sit down for this, doesn't use traditional role-playing game dice. Yes, mind blown, right? You don't use your funky dice. Instead, you use their special funky dice. There are 6-siders, 8-siders, and 12-siders, and occasionally you will throw a couple percentiles, but you're not going to use numbered ones. Instead, you use ones that have special symbols, and those symbols are used to average out and determine your success.
And you said how many sides are on those?
Special
Ones?
There's 4, 8, and 12.
Oh.
And then you use traditional D10s as well. Sometimes you need a percentile. And they're color-coded. So you've got good dice and bad dice based on the color. And the number of dice that you roll is based on a combination of your skill, your attribute, and then situational factors, like how difficult the thing is you're trying to do, or, oh, look, it's raining, or it's dark, or, the weather conditions are perfect, and that might give you bonus dice or penalty dice, depending on it. And so every time you go to take an action, you build up a die pool based on those different combinations. And some people go, oh, dear Lord, I need to use the dice that I've got, or I don't want to go out and buy new dice just for this game. So there's a great fix for that. There's an app for that. It's free. You can get it either for Android or for iOS. Also, there's websites that have dice rollers on them. Not quite as convenient as the app, but they do work. I've used them for virtual tabletop games. And the way things work then is you assemble a die pool, you throw the dice, some of the faces cancel each other out. It's actually handy in that the core rulebook includes a bunch of genre setups, and that's what I was actually just looking for. There we go. So you get setups for fantasy, for steampunk, for weird war, for modern, science fiction, and space opera. And most of those kind of tie in to settings that Fantasy Flight's already published. Like the fantasy kind of keys in on their runepunk stuff. And the weird war, I think, kind of keys in on Dust, if memory serves. And so you can go in those ways, or you can use these genre rules to kind of key in off of another major IP that might be of interest to you. Like, there's a few sci-fi or space opera settings out there that people like. There's a lot of stuff you can do with GENESYS, and there are several other products out there, and there's a lot of resources on the web, but this is a pretty solid self-contained book, and you can do an awful lot with just this volume. I did mention there's a bunch of different genres that are already in here. One of the other big things, when you're setting up your campaign, you can choose what species are available to the player characters. And in addition to the sample ones that are in there, there's rules in here for what you need to do to create your own. And then there's careers, which are, or professions or classes in other systems. And again, they're really straightforward to set up so that you can make ones that are very specific to the type of setting you want to do.
That's interesting, though, because you said it's straightforward, but I also like how it's variable. So you kind of pick your own poison. You kind of make your own game, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, so there are frameworks in here for setting up your own setting, but it's real easy to do your own, and it's real easy to pick and choose what pieces you want from those different frameworks. So say you wanted to have a Shadowrun-ish setting where you've got your cyberpunks with magic. It'd be really straightforward to draw on the fantasy material and the sci-fi material, just kind of fuse that together.
What would be your favorite thing about this game if you could pick one?
So the thing that really drives the game is the dice system, because the great thing about it is when you succeed or when you fail, you can really get a feel for what's going on in the background. So you never just, woohoo, I hit him. It's always all right, yeah, you got that blow in, but it cost you this, and you notched your weapon, or you tripped and now you're in a disadvantageous position, or you cleaved the guy in half, but as you did it, the gemstone that he was holding fell down into the canyon behind you. So there's always a give and take with that dice system, where you succeed with consequences, or sometimes you fail but manage to give an advantage to somebody else in the process.
I'm intrigued.
I did mention there are a number of other settings out there for this that build on the FFG properties. There's also other stuff out there on the internet if you want to have fun with it. There's a great Discord community, a great Facebook community, and just plenty of opportunities to go in different directions. In addition to the settings that are in here, there is a player's guide available that has rules for supers and mecha, and probably one or two other genres as well. So there's just a lot of different potential to go in a lot of different directions with this and find a system that can be leveraged for a lot of different games that tell very different kinds of stories. If you're interested in more, stop into the store, check it out here at Immortals Inc. or ImmortalsInc.com.
You said it first. You beat me to it. ImmortalsInc.com, folks. Any last regards?
I think that pretty much covers it. It's a solid system, and they're continuing to develop new things for it all the time.
See you later.